recording thing.
I
Hey
see
guys,
it.
welcome back to the show. This episode is brought to you by WODproof Bionic. WODproof Bionic is a new program that they just launched that tracks and analyzes movement in real time with the goal of providing unique mobility plans for each user. And it's provided for the pro members, so make sure you check out WODproof. There's a link to it in our show notes. The show is also brought to you by X Endurance Sports Supplements. X Endurance is approved by Informed Sport for professional athletes. So if you're a competitor, you can be confident knowing that you're putting the right things in your body whenever you take X Endurance. There's also a discount code for X Endurance in the show notes as well. Let's get back to episode 10 of Athlete Stories with Fee Saghafi. Fee, how are you?
Hello. What's up, you guys? I'm great. Happy Wednesday.
Hey,
Wednesday before the Open.
Wednesday before the Open. Fee, I don't know how I've never asked you this. We've spent a lot of time together, but how do you say your first name, your whole name?
Oh my God. You got to get the whole. Okay. So I'll say it slow. Firuze Saghafi. Firuze
Okay.
Saghafi. I get
Firuze?
so many attempts. That's a good one. That is a very good one. That's exactly how you say my name. I get this thing of like all these years going to school, it's always attendance is always like the
Yeah.
worst thing in the world.
You're just
because
waiting.
It's like, Samantha, Ashley, Joe, and then it's like, and I'm like, that's me. That's definitely me. And they don't even attempt it.
When did you
Firuze
start getting
Saghafi.
called Fee? When did that start?
Oh my God. I think that must have started back in like middle school. It did.
Okay.
It did start in middle school. In elementary school, I went from Firuze, and then one of my best friends, she goes, for Rosa. Like at the time, we're a bunch of 5, 6-year-olds trying to say words and say names. And so for Rosa ended up being like the thing that people related to. So, and then in middle school, I think at some point someone was like, I'm just calling you Fee. And I was like, I like that. I actually like Fee. And it's fitting. I think
Yeah.
Fee is like, but then people think it's Fiona. I'm like, no, it's definitely not Fiona. And it's not Phoebe. Firuze.
You like whenever you got the nickname Fee and you took that home, or your parents like absolutely Fee was or whatever, like
Oh, they weren't happy at all. They're like, that's not your name. Like, no one should be saying a name that's not your name because, there's a lot of honor in our name and who I am. And it's a Iranian name. And my dad is Iranian. My mom is Mexican. And there's a lot of pride in our culture. But we're in America. And in America, you want just an easy way to say names now. And
yeah,
so
that's fair.
Fee was the thing. It was mostly my dad that was like so upset. He's like, that's not your name. But it's funny because his name is also Iranian, Daryush, and people call him Dar. And then my brother, Shahram, people call him Shaq. There's a Shaq, there's a Mo, there's a Fee, we all have nicknames.
Yeah, that's fair. Fee, what do you think the open workout is going to be?
Oh, we've been going back and forth with this. So I think if it's going to be a redo, I think it's going to be squat snatches and burpees. I believe
Okay.
that was, what was that, 2013, 2014, something in that year. Squat snatches and burpees. Or I
Like
think it's
burpees
going
over
to
the bar?
be, yes, like something like that. Or I think it's going to be something with like keeps it more inclusive for everyone to do. So what if they brought back 7 minutes of burpees? I'm just
Yeah.
saying there, but I think when we do burpees, I think we're going to do burpees, and I think they're going to be to a 12-inch target. That's my guess.
Ooh.
We
That
saw
was
that in the
in
last chance qualifier.
last chance qualifier.
And ever since that last chance qualifier, we have been hammering burpees to a 12-inch target. You feel like you're doing plyometrics just about the entire time.
Yeah, like my quads right above my knees just give out. You know what I mean? Because like
Yeah.
you have to get that extra hip extension, and then when you land back on it, it's like
You're like,
just fall straight down.
load it again. Well, it's actually great because people would be like, wow, this is what triple extension actually feels like. Never would I thought. Just jumping a couple more inches. But I think, if anything, I think that burpee standard is going to show up more. I think it's coming. I hope people have been jumping 12 inches.
Good thing I can jump.
Have you? Have you been working? Yeah. You
I
ever
mean,
those burpees with the underdogs?
we do a good amount of burpees, and we did burpees to a target. I think the week before last, actually. I do a good amount of burpees because, like, I'm chronically injured, and burpees for whatever reason ends up being like what I can do sometimes. When I'm like everything
That's
hurt.
every injured person's go-to movement.
I wish I was an
C2
injured.
bike, C2 bike,
Yeah,
and burpee.
yeah, like because some days my left knee, my right shoulder will be like out of whack. I'm like, well, that's basically everything, like if
Yep,
you want to lift or do Olympic lifting or gymnastics. So I'm like, I'll get on a
you know
C2
it.
bike, I'll do some GHDs, and I'll do
There you
some
go.
burpees. Like
That's
that
it.
ends up being my
That's
thing.
really all you
So
need. Another
hopefully,
thing that I've been, I don't know your thoughts on this, but Scott Pianchik, I train over at CrossFit Mentality here in Menor, and he's the affiliate owner. And a couple months ago, he was like, "Fee, when was the last time you did kipping chest to bar pull-ups or kipping pull-ups, like kipping pull-ups at all?" And it's a good question because once you get to the point of being able to do butterfly, you're like, screw kipping. Like butterfly is
yeah,
way faster, way, better and more efficient. And I was like, you know what? I haven't done kipping chest to bar. And so we've kind of been sprinkling it in to programming with Matt Torres. And what if this is another like idea? What if we had kipping chest to bar pull-ups and all athletes had to kip, no butterfly allowed? It would expose everyone and it would
yeah.
expose even the elite athletes. I've seen elite athletes not be able to do kipping because they don't work on their foundational movements. And I think that would be really cool.
Wow. Yeah, the
I should
negative on
program the next open.
I I I mean, I'm better at kipping than I am at butterflies, so sure.
Ah.
Uh, Fee, if you could describe yourself in 3 words, what would they be?
Ooh, okay. 3 words. First word that comes to mind would be bubbly, uh, loud. I can be loud, but also passionate, very passionate.
For
um,
sure.
and very passionate in the things that I very much pursue. Everything what I pursue, I pursue it with a lot of love and passion and heart. And I think that would be a good third word for me.
If you weren't doing competitive CrossFit, what would you be doing?
Mm. If I wasn't doing competitive CrossFit, I could see myself um, helping people in their fitness and in their health and in their movement. One of the things that I always wanted to pursue was some form of either physical therapy, chiropractic, but also nutrition and movement specialties. And I've always been in love in that realm and had a passion for that. And actually, more than ever, within these last couple years that I've been able to pursue this full time, I've been falling in love with coaching, and helping people and being part of their journeys and being able to be part of their success and the ups and the downs and everything in between. And I actually do that as well. It's very hard to pursue coaching completely full time as I do being an athlete full time, but I do coach throughout the week and I do take on some clients, and it's just one of those things that it makes me feel like I'm more than just a sport. So
Yeah.
I would love
Coaching
that.
is a
And
lot
that's
of fun.
oh,
Um,
it is. But it's like it needs to be it could also be overwhelming too, and that's kind of like that fine line between like being able to pour into others where you're still able to pour into yourself as an athlete. And I think that's why a lot of times athletes love coaching, but it takes so much time. Like it takes so much time and energy, and you're investing in others, and sometimes it could be draining too when you're also focused on your full training day. But
yeah.
I love it. I absolutely love it.
Speaking of training day, you already trained today, right?
I did. I
Did
got
you
a full first session in. Just about to knock the wind out of me this session.
What did
All the
you do?
lifting for fame. Well, this entire off season, it's been well, literally like 90% of my training for because I'm a brute strength athlete with Matt Torres. It's been so awesome working with them, and it's been very specific to my weaknesses and something that I've been completely exposed in anytime I compete. Just about, if you go back, look at the stats. One of the events, I always take a hit in those strength events, right? And one of the things that we've just been hammering is strength. So, been doing a ton of like power output, strength, Olympic lifting, powerlifting, just squat. Like these strength cycles just take about 2 hours, 2.5 hours to get through, and they just exhaust me. But um, I've been doing a lot of that, and it's just things that I compared to before, where we would with Scott, I would always train with Scott for several years, and we were so used to the mayhem style of training, which those mayhem athletes that are familiar, it's a lot of volume, a lot of metcons, a lot of rinse and repeat, but then we would always lift after. So now it's like I do all of my strength training at the beginning of the session, and it's a lot of sitting, like a lot of lift, sit for 2 to 3 minutes, lift again, sit another two, and I was not used to that. I'm still trying to get used to that. It's like I want to be up, I'm be walking around in between sets, and it's like no fee, sit down, get strong, and focus on strength, and then we do CrossFit in the afternoons.
Yeah, I like
So
those 2 to 3 minute breaks. I'm a big fan of
no,
taking a break.
I can't. I feel like I'm not doing anything. Like, I feel like I need to, like, stay, like, moving, sweating. I feel
Yeah,
my sweat. No, today I did so I've been dealing with a little bit of, like, a wrist issue, little wrist inflammation going on. I've been taping up. A lot of people saw, like, a bunch of tape on my wrists during Wadapalooza, so I've been dealing with a little bit of angry wrists, but they're getting better. So I'm getting back to having barbells overhead, but some snatches, tons of squats, and then usually like after a strength session it's actually followed up with it's like a strength session but like a power output session, and it's just one of those that you do and you need a rest for about 3 hours.
I feel you. If you could sum up your life story in like 2 to 3 minutes, Fee, what would that sound like?
Wow. Okay.
Big sip of coffee before that one.
I know I needed that. Wow, if I were to sum up my whole life story, well, I started off, well, I've always been involved in sports. I guess it's a good way to start off. I've always been a girl that has always wanted to just be involved with doing things and trying new things and trying new sports. And I was always like the tomboy of my neighborhood. And my mom would get so upset with me because I would never want to like do girly things. I always wanted to like play tackle football and baseball and basketball, and like my brother's guy friends would come over and be like, "See, like come on our team and like let's play dot like whatever it was." I just wanted to like do things, and I wanted to always be gritty and just have fun, and I always found fun in those things. And as I grew up throughout high school, I started to latch on into volleyball, and volleyball became kind of my sport that I pursued and I loved, and but never really got the opportunity to pursue at an elite level. Financially, my family wasn't in that space to be able to give me those opportunities. And so I did, high school level volleyball with big dreams of like, oh man, it would be nice to play at a collegiate level. It'd be nice to. I just remember watching the Olympics when I was younger, and I would watch the volleyball girls, the USA volleyball team, and like, I want to go to the Olympics, like, and I had just like a lot of kids have these
Yeah.
Olympic dreams or big stud aspirations in sport. And but I never pursued collegiate. I went to a D3 college, John Carroll, and then and as soon as I went to college, I lost myself a little bit through, just not whether it was through habit and not the greatest core group of friends at the time, and kind of fell into a depression a little bit, and uh, lost myself and my body image. I got a lot of body image issues, a lot of sadness at the time, went through a breakup, um, even worse, like just was like riding a good high and then like all the way down freshman year of college. And a lot of things in college happened, and things that I wish that didn't happen kind of got to me. And so that's kind of when I like really latched on to CrossFit. And that was kind of my beginning of this CrossFit journey and this connection through good community and good people. And I actually started because I needed just something to pursue that would just make me feel good and healthy and strong and capable of good, healthy things, and things that would just make me feel great again because I wasn't feeling great at all. And that's how it started. And I pursued it intensely. I pursued it with passion, just like we mentioned one of the words. And I fell in love with the people, and I fell in love with the process of like building yourself into something much more than you thought you could do. And it kind of naturally pursued into sport. And now we're here.
That's awesome. Thank you for sharing that. Where are you from
I'm
originally?
from Cleveland, Ohio.
Okay, so
Originally Cleveland, Ohio, so born and raised here.
and you're still in the area. I mean, yeah,
Mhm.
you're still there pretty much.
Yeah, so I train out of, like, a suburb so Cleveland, like, big city, Cleveland, I think, like, everyone knows Cleveland,
Yeah.
whether you've heard it in movies or LeBron James, we know Cleveland. But I'm probably, like, 30 minutes out from so it's a suburb outside of Cleveland, but I'm from here, but my background is Mexican from my mom's side and Iranian from my dad's side. So
Okay.
I have a
And
whole bunch of family in Mexico.
you probably have a pretty big family, right?
I have a huge family, humongous family. And I love
Um,
them so much. I miss them.
where did you start CrossFit? Did you start at CrossFit Mentality?
No, I actually started CrossFit at a gym, closer to my side of town, probably like 5 minutes away from my house, Crooked River CrossFit. I got started not on my own. I was with someone at the time. I had a boyfriend at freshman year of college. The guy that I was with introduced me to CrossFit. And it was pretty much like, "Hey, have you heard of this thing? This is cool." Sent me some videos. I eventually went to less, corporate gym, big corporate gym. And we would like attempt to do pull-ups and like do some interval training, and it was fun. It was so cool. And this was also at the time where I wasn't the healthiest. I was kind of like lacking routine and consistency. So it just kept it fun. So it was a cool way for him to, get me involved in something different and something we could do together. And then from there, I was like, oh, cool. This was back in 2014. And then from there, found out there's a couple gyms around the area. So I got in contact with a gym there, and Crooked River CrossFit was the first time I ever did CrossFit. Like I knew how to do like nothing. Like I didn't go into CrossFit with, a gymnastics background, like or an Olympic lifting background, some
Yeah.
awareness. Like no, I had tree stumps for legs because of volleyball, and that's just about the only thing I had. I could do a bunch of burpees, and that's just about it. Box jumps.
You,
I could do box jumps.
do you remember your first CrossFit workout?
I do. You know what? The first, and it's not a typical CrossFit workout. I just remember I walked in, and I don't remember the rep scheme, but it was burpees, box jumps, and I think sit ups. It wasn't like crazy. I had a good first experience. It wasn't
Yeah.
overwhelming. And then like it was a max plank hold. It was super simple. It was simple. And I was like, oh, I like simple. But the fact that simple was actually very hard made me like it even more. Um, and I held a plank for 5 minutes.
No
5 minute
way.
plank. Yes. I was shocked, and I immediately got competitive. Like I was holding this plank and I'm like, I'm going to outplank every single person in this room right now. So
I,
that was my first session, truly first session.
that's really impressive. I think the longest I've held a plank is probably 5 to 6 minutes, maybe. Um,
I honestly, I don't want to try to hold another plank because I don't think I could match. Like, I don't think I could.
like your body's shaking. You're like worried. Am I gonna have like, is something wrong
Like
with
I'm
me tomorrow?
convulsing. Yeah,
Yeah. You're like,
my elbows are
um.
gonna give out. It was a high plank too. It wasn't even on my forearms.
Oh, I actually like high planks more than on the forearm.
Do you
Um,
really?
yeah, because I can use more of my
Rest
chest and
on it.
less of my shoulders. You know what I mean? It's
Okay,
like
I
when
could
you're
see. Yeah, you're
here,
right. You
it's
can't
like,
really. You're
yeah,
stuck.
this is like more shoulder. This is better for you, I think, relative
Mhm.
to your weaknesses. But here, like I can just lock out and like my chest gets more engaged, so I can compensate better.
Yeah, you're right.
Um,
I haven't held a 5 minute plank since my first my first 5 minute
well,
plank.
22.1 plank
There,
for time.
5 minute plank.
Um,
AMRAP.
There was a guy that I think held a plank for like 60 plus minutes or something like that.
I saw
Um,
like some dude hold it for 4 hours. I feel
oh
like
yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's
He's like
some
a
viral
Marine.
video.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had like, he was peeing into a tube and 4 hours. I
Hey, you
warm
want
up
to see
with
something?
planks. I barely hold one for 1 minute now. Is that Callie?
Yeah.
Oh, Callie. Oh, she's so perfect. You guys, Callie had a long day today. Long day of napping and changing positions.
Now she's looking at me.
Dude, I miss
Um,
Callie, girl.
I get a bed set tomorrow, by the way, just for the audience.
There you
Um,
go.
I'm not
Needs
a, I'm
the
not a,
needs the princess tree. Oh yeah, but you're not a yeah, you're living simple over there, Jared.
yeah, I'm not a
Jared,
homeless person, so
right at my
uh, just moved. Um, if you, what's your earliest memory? Do you know?
I guess my earliest memory, honestly, it's very general. It was just the best hour. It continues to be obviously but my earliest memories have always been I would go to school and I was just always so excited to leave campus and go to CrossFit sessions. Like there's just a general, it's nothing specific, but it's just a general memory of just I just so vividly remember, going to class and being more mindful of what I was eating, how I was eating, because I would need to eat well because if I want to do well in CrossFit later on, in my CrossFit class, I gotta eat well, I gotta hydrate, I gotta fuel. And I just remember I would always go to the afternoon sessions as much as I could. And was so excited. It was never a time where, how sometimes you get into just such a consistent routine, it becomes dragging. And you're like, man, I gotta go do this now. I
Yeah.
gotta go do this. And you do something enough, then it starts to feel like a job. And a lot of athletes burn out because you go from having started because it was just exciting. It was something new. It got you pumped up for the day. And now you're dragging your feet and just never experienced that. First experiences were always just the best and it continues to be and a little bit different now. And training days are a lot harder, but I was just always so excited. And I created some great friendships there. And I didn't really meet anyone my age. I was probably the youngest one at the gym at that time. There wasn't really, because I started when I was 19. Now you see kids starting when they're 11, 12,
Yeah.
13. Our youngest is 13, I think. And we have some and they're studs. They're stronger than adults now. And it's
Yeah,
nuts
you're
to
like
me.
the oldest one on the brute strength team, probably.
I know. I used to be the youngest one. I'm the old lady. Everyone's 7 years. I'm sorry, 10 years. Emma Carey, 17. And it's okay. I feel like I could still hang with the young guns,
Yeah,
with the young
absolutely.
kids. But no, those are the best memories. And I made the best friendships with all the gym moms. And I went through a breakup. And when I went through a breakup, that was the place that I went to. It was the
Yeah.
first place that I would go. I just remember I was bawling my eyes out, just heartbroken. It was my first breakup,
Yeah.
and it was my first just went to the gym for everything. I connected so well, and it was shout out to Crooked River CrossFit because they are some really great people, and the people there are just awesome. And I just built the best friendships, and I eventually moved on to another gym because my goals started to shift, and so I got word that Scott went from CrossFit Distinction. He was training out of an affiliate here in Cleveland, Beechwood, Ohio, and he was opening up his own gym. And I was like, I definitely need to check that out. His brothers were coaching. I started to have these aspirations of not necessarily making the games or being an incredible athlete, but I said I want to compete. Whether that was a local that was
Yeah.
doing locally or whatever that looked like, I just wanted that kind of mentorship and coaching, and the shift needed to happen. And so I moved over to CrossFit or training out of CrossFit Mentality. Been there ever since 2015.
So it's been a minute. Did you see Saxon
Mhm.
recently announced as a proven athlete?
I saw that on Instagram just about a couple days ago. That's a huge move, and I'm proud of him. I wish him the best, and I know that. I mean, he's a dad of two. I mean, to move your whole entire family to a new city, and that's always tough. It's always a tough choice where your whole entire family's here, but it looks like he's in really, really good hands. I mean, the proven people, I mean, I've gotten to connect and get to know some of the girls out there, and Shane and Tia are great people, and Brooke, and they got some great athletes. I wish him the best. He's going to be training with some amazing individuals.
Yeah, it's gonna be really good for him.
Oh,
What
yeah.
do you think about teams this year? All right, let me ask you even a more controversial question.
Mm.
Who do you think's gonna win, the
God.
new Mayhem team or Annie's team?
Oh. See, does the Mayhem team have the same girls?
They have the same girls, and now they have Sam Cornier.
I think it's gonna be close.
He's an
I think
individual games athlete, so
yeah.
and he's a good one.
Who's the guy on Annie's team?
So you have Khan and Tola.
Yes, 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 yes.
So obviously Khan, multiple games.
It's
Tola,
gonna be
he
tough.
was on the games demo team,
Okay.
and he snatched like 330 in that 1 rep snatch. I mean, Tola's a hell of an athlete,
Yeah.
hell of a gymnast too.
Okay, so full transparency, my true thoughts, and no one's gonna take this personally, and I hope they prove me wrong then if I'm wrong. If you look at all the games, if all the teams that have competed and even like flirted with the podium, they've had incredibly strong women. And I think Taylor and Andrea they're great individual athletes and also just as powerful on team. And I mean, they haven't, I can't think, I mean, I haven't seen it yet on the floor of just as powerful and as strong individual athletes and team members. And I'd be interested to see how those teams throw down. I mean, no need to, like, Annie and Lauren have all the experience, all the games experience and the strengths and the engine. But it'd be cool. It'd be cool to see like what a team that just got together versus a team that's been working together. I got some love from my Mayhem people, so I got a good, and so I'm gonna be a little biased. But I think if the Mayhem girls stay, I really don't know. I don't know I don't know if they're staying or not for the season. I don't know what you got in on that, but I think they got a shot to get another win on there for the season.
Yeah,
They're
like,
freaking strong. I mean, all of them are. So
if we had a lot of fun with this in Miami, but if you were a character in a movie, who would you be?
oh my god, why does I wish I like had this like already on my phone. I always get Dora. I guess like, where's our next adventure? Like, hi guys, what's up? How's everyone doing? Everyone's got like this bubbly character, and I always get Dora, and I don't know if it's because like I'm Mexican and I'm bubbly, but I'm also gritty. I could be gritty and I could be intense. Scott gives me some heat, being like, "Fee, it can't be sunshine and rainbows all the time." It doesn't help that I'm wearing single. Oh my god. Yes, I've gotten Dora. I've gotten Dora. That is right there. But it's like I want to be more intense, but I
So
can't. Like,
who's your intense person then? Like, if you were an intense character, who's that?
I were an
Like,
intense character. Do I even know intense characters? I want to be like, oh, I want to be like an animal. Like, I want to be a lion. Like, am I a lion?
I mean, you could be whatever you want to be.
I want to be Nala from Lion King.
There you go. She's
Right?
pretty.
She's sweet but
Yeah.
aggressive.
There you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah, I could be Nala.
Yeah, and tell Scott that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
He's
he's
like,
not
which
gonna
one? Like the
he's gonna be like,
baby
"Which one?"
Nala?
The Nala when she was 2 years old. Yeah, baby. I could be Nala. See, like, I'm sweet, but then I attack.
Yeah. I mean, female
Yes.
lions will literally rip people apart.
That's my style. Yeah. Yeah, we could be Nala. An animal. We had fun with this. We had so much fun. Danielle,
I know.
I posted for Danielle's birthday all her like similar characters. The wild thornberries, Debbie. I mean, I think that is spot on. There's nothing that compares to that. I think Danielle Brandon is Debbie Thornberry for sure.
100%.
Danielle, Debbie. But then I threw
Um,
in, I think, Angelica and was the Hey Arnold girl, that blonde chick that always
yeah,
like
no, I
crushes him.
know. She still
When did
has
we?
like Zach, that picture of Zach with the I don't remember who the
I
character
can't
is.
get. I don't even know, but it's like there's nothing more similar to Zach. Do
I
you have
know.
that? Can the
I
world
don't.
see that?
Danielle has it. I wish we could pull it
Oh
up.
my gosh, we could wish. I wish we could call Danielle right now.
Hopefully,
Well,
they're.
what did we compare you to?
She said I was the saber-toothed tiger off of Ice Age,
Yes, saber-toothed tiger. That's right.
which, like,
Scared
I
of the
think
water.
true. Like, not wrong. Um,
Cooper
yeah,
was
and I think she said that like to try to be like snarky, and I was like, I'll be a saber-toothed tiger all
yeah,
day.
that's right.
Like, I
She's
was like,
like, "Oh,
it's not
I
offensive to
complimented
me.
you."
Yeah, I was like, thank you for the compliment. She was like, crap. And then we were talking the other day, like to the Underdogs crew about that, and I said that, and they were like, "Dude, I see that totally." And I'm like, "How do you see that? Like, who's?" I
My
mean,
beard.
yeah, like I don't have like whatever. I think maybe the mannerisms.
You have like a build though. You have that like like yeah, you have like a good like strong. You have some strong build to you, Jerry.
Hey,
Yeah, you have some
yeah,
tiger build too.
thank you.
And we said
I needed
Emma.
that today. I left
Yes,
the gym
yes.
early, so
I'm gonna fill your cup to the brim today, Jared.
thanks, V.
You're welcome, Jared.
This is about you, though.
Thank yeah. Let's bring it back over
Let's bring it back full circle.
here.
V, have you ever been in trouble before?
Yes,
Oh,
for
let's talk
very
about.
stupid things. So, um, I've never done anything like illegal. I've never done anything that's like, don't tell the police. Like the things that I've gotten in trouble. Okay, so this is my biggest thing. I got in trouble. I was in college. Um, I went out. I was 21. I went out with a bunch of friends. Well, some of my friends, and I told my dad, "Dad, I'm gonna be." My dad is very strict. My parents are very strict, and people would make fun of me so much for having strict parents. I told my dad at 21, senior in college, "Hey, Dad, I'm gonna go out to dinner. I'm gonna go catch dinner with a bunch of friends. I'll be back by 11." I didn't get back by 11. I had 11 o'clock curfew in college because I still lived at home. I didn't stay on campus. I get back at 12:30. Like, not that late. I should have I did message my father like, "Hey, I'm a little late. I'm obviously coming home. I'm sorry." Boom. I get home 12:30. Not bad. Grounds me. I got grounded. 21-year-old grounded. I got grounded for 4 weeks. I was supposed to go on a ski trip with Al, and like Al and I weren't even my boyfriend
Yeah.
weren't a thing at the time, which was like a bunch of friends. We were supposed to go on a ski trip, had to cancel. Felt like a you know such a jerk, but I got yeah. So that was probably like just about the worst thing that I did as of recent.
V,
That was yeah,
you got grounded
21.
for 4 weeks at 21 years old.
Yeah, yeah. My dad was not happy. He's very strict. I'm telling you, like every time I've gotten grounded, it's not because like I've done anything wrong. It's just like an inconvenience to my father, and it's just like what, I don't like that grounded.
I mean, at
and
21, it's like I I stopped
yeah,
listening at like 16. I'd be like, no, no, for
I
sure
feel
not
like
doing that.
maybe that's something that yeah, like you do like maybe with like a high school kid. I also had a college like I had a curfew. Like if I was gonna stay out, which in college you stay out until 3, 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning. Like
Yeah,
you probably stay up all night sometimes. And I couldn't come home. Like I had to sleep
yeah,
over.
stay with a
So
friend or something.
I lied to my parents a ton. Like I would lie all the time. I would be like, they ask me, "Fee, where are you going?" "Oh, I'm staying at Samantha's house. We're gonna be back. We'll be in bed by 10. We're gonna watch a bunch of movies. What do we do?" No, we went downtown. We went to the club. Like we did the whole college thing. Did I get
Yeah,
home at 10 o'clock? No, we went out at 10 o'clock. Um, yeah, that was back in the day where like CrossFit wasn't as my job professionally. This is when I did CrossFit for fun and
yeah.
not seriously.
I
I
I think
wish I could give you more. Like I wish I could like be like, "Oh yeah, this one time I pulled it off. Police chased me down." No, I got nothing.
I think you getting grounded and like actually listening to your dad at 21 just speaks volumes to your character. Um,
Um, I can't, like, I didn't know what to say. I'm like, "I'm under your roof, your rules, I guess." And you know what's funny? I'm 27, and I will still get the, "Hey, sweetie, where are you? Are you coming home? It's 8:30. It's almost 9. Come on." Like, "It's a little late right now. We gotta get off this." I'm saving money. I'm paying off a bunch of student loans right now because private school tuition is not cheap. So we are saving money and we are eventually moving in the next year. The big girl goal. But yeah, I still get some texts from my poor dad. He worries about me a lot. And I tell him, I'm like, "Dad, there's one place that you ever have to know I'm at, and I'm always at the gym. I'm never anywhere else."
do you what do you actually let me go here. Do you have a morning routine and a nighttime routine?
I do. Oh,
What
let's
do
see.
they what do
Imagine your
they look
dad's
like?
listening to this and decides to come to your place and ground you. Oh, my dad would for sure ground me. For sure. Um, so I do have a morning routine, and I would say it's a little rushed. I need to be a way better at this, but typically my morning routine, because I coach in the morning, so I coach at our affiliate and at 8:30. So my mornings actually start at 6 in the morning, 6:30, and I have a very specific routine. So I wake up, I pop out of bed, I get changed, and I always like shower and rinse off, even like showered the night before. I always have to do this, like it just wakes me up. It's good. I don't do cold
Same.
showers. I can't do cold anything. I hate it. I don't know how people get into ice cold tubs. I'm not that tough, and I'm not that yeah, I'm not that tough. I'm just gonna say that. But and then I eat breakfast, so I have like my full breakfast routine, and I never miss breakfast. And if you follow my Instagram, you know how much I love breakfast. Like there's just something about breakfast that is just it's just the best meal of the day. So I make sure to have a full breakfast and I kind of get into the flow of things and then kind of make my way over to the gym. And my day starts with working with people. And it's just about the energy. And it's just like I think it's the greatest way to start your morning is investing in others and pouring into others. And it's a really great opportunity that I have. And that's actually how I started. Like I started at Mentality as a member. I started as a member. I started going to classes every day. Every day. I would go to classes, connect with others. Saxon and Spencer were the coaches that mainly coach at the time. Scott would coach there as well, obviously there, but it was mainly they're his brothers. And I started as a member, and then eventually that turned into wanting to pursue coaching and working with people. So I actually, went to Scott. I would love, saying I would love to do this. I would love to work with others. And he's like, okay, like let's start small. He was like, how about a kids class? And so I actually started at the gym coaching by coaching kids. And if you have ever coached kids, it teaches you so much about patience and how to explain simple things even simpler.
Which is
It's
perfect
actually
because adults
perfect.
are just grown kids anyway, so
Right. It's sometimes harder to coach adults than it is kids because at least kids, like, they don't have like a background that they're, ingrained. Like, they
yeah.
just kind of flop around and then eventually figure it out. But you try to get an adult to move that's been moving a certain way for 30 years and you try to like unravel all that, it's very hard. So yeah, I started working with kids and I'm talking like 4 years old, like 4-year old toddlers. I mean, not
Yeah.
even kids, toddlers, 4 or 5 years old, and then eventually pursued some kids classes there. And then kids were more like, 11, 10, 12 years old. And then eventually I got my L1 and, we continued on from there. And I've been coaching ever since, like 2016.
Do you have a favorite CrossFit athlete?
Yes, myself. No. I'm my number one fan all the time. No, my favorite CrossFit athlete, I have always looked up to Julie Fouché. I think she's just an incredible, not just not just as a CrossFit athlete, but she just brings so much to others in her profession and she brings passion and she integrates what she loves in sport and movement and overall health into her practice as a physician. And I think that's so powerful because I think a lot of times people think that they either can't integrate other things that they love into into their profession, or you hear all the dark side of medicine and the dark side of healthcare, and the not so great things that actually happen, and how patients are treated, and how some physicians think of what health
Yeah.
actually is when it's not. And she's been growing, not just individually in her own life and her uh, professional career, but she's actually found a way to incorporate the CrossFit methodology. And now she is a huge part in CrossFit Health, and has created an incredible platform to give opportunities for coaches and other, not just, movement coaches, but nutritionists and other healthcare professionals to stay integrated in the CrossFit methodology. And because of that, I've always looked up to her, and it's cool to have, even become some, build a friendship along the way. I remember seeing her in Whole Foods. This is a story. Because she went to Case Western for medical school. And at the time, she was in medical school, still competing as a professional athlete, still in medical school. Incredible, right? Anyone that like balances a full-time school or full-time job and a full-time athletic career is the most impressive thing. Ariel Lowen. Oh my God. Super mom, also a realtor, I believe.
Yeah.
Also stud CrossFit Games athlete. And that, like, it's insane to me. And I always look up to athletes like that. But I saw her in Whole Foods. Long story short, I was doing calculus. I saw her from like literally across the cafe. And in my head, I'm like, oh my God, that's Julie. Like, should I go over there? Am I interrupting her? Like, am I interrupting? Is she in like the flow of studying right now? I don't want to interrupt. I flip to like a blank page in my calculus notebook, and I walk up to her and I just like open up my notebook. Hi, Julie. My name is P. I'm like such a big fan. I think you're I asked for an autograph, and I will never forget. And will continue to share that to this day. And I'm like, I'm sorry if I'm interrupting. I would love to train with you. Like, I keep in mind, I've been doing CrossFit for like 1 year. I just got like my very first bar muscle up. Not even like I just started CrossFit, but I'm
Yeah.
already like, if you ever want to train together, like it was so embarrassing. I was so embarrassing, but I totally fangirled. There's one person that I've ever fangirled over, and it's Julie, because she's just an incredible person.
That's
So that was,
adorable.
and I have her autograph. She gave me her email, and I have it pinned up on my corkboard. It's been there ever since.
That's
I'm gonna text
what
Julie
about
after this and tell her.
what about competing? Who's one of your like favorite people to compete against?
Wow, there's so many. I mean, just this past Wadapalooza, it's been such a long time since I say it's been such a long time because it feels like forever. Um, the last time I had competed live was technically the MAC, and that had been so many. I mean, back in May, and this past Wadapalooza, I just felt like I had so many incredible moments because of the girls that I got to compete against. So like Danny Spiegel, just an incredibly powerful athlete and kind. And I just remember, like, we're all so gritty, like, when it's time to go, it's time to go. And everyone wants to, like, beat each other. We all just want to win and beat each other down. But at the same time, we're all like walking off, like congratulating each other, like, hey, like, way to go, like, great performance and just great attitude. So Danny Spiegel was so great to race against. We were next to each other on Echo Fran. And I remember I was also next to Ariel, just powerful athletes, like so strong, powerful athletes. And one of my weaknesses, well, not anymore, it's becoming a strength because we have been working on it. But it's power output. It's like high power output. And Echo Fran is, especially on the Echo bike, is a high power output event. And it was just such a great race. And because I was next to them, I'm like, okay, like they're making me better, and I'm gonna be with them. I'm bringing them along, and they're going to come along with me. And it was just so cool. And Bethenny Schadburn is another one. I love Bethenny. She's just the sweetest, like probably the most positive person I have ever met. And she's just like always in the back, like, what's up, you guys? Like, hey, good luck out there. Great job. And just, and at the same time, she's doing her plyos and like getting warm. And like, she's just, earbuds are on in the zone, but she'll like smile and wave and say, wish you the best. And I remember the Bayside Chipper. It was Oh my gosh, I was like I was next to her as well, and I just remember I was like, I have two directions to face. Which way do I face? I was like, okay, I'm gonna face Bethany because she has this engine and she's gonna just go all in, and just so Bethany's another great. There's so many great ones. I guess it's not the specific answer that you wanted, but the girls that I get to compete against, it's just it's so cool being able to be competitors on the floor, but also be friends off the floor. And, it sounds very like a feminine thing to say where guys are like, no, I want to rip his head off. Well, I don't want to be friends with you. I don't want to be friends with you. But it's cool. And it's because of that, we're able to, I think, shine on the floor because we're all like, everyone's just like trying to be their best self on the floor. And it kind of like pulls everyone else along. So I've never had a bad experience competing like that.
Do you set goals?
Yes.
Like not like fitness goals, but any other goals as well?
Yes, I do, and it's been very hard to keep them because I haven't been diligent. We just started a book club, and my goal was, as in like you're in it and you finish the book, and I didn't finish the book, Talking to Strangers.
I think only like 2
Um,
or 3 people have finished the book, so you're okay.
I I'm like still chipping
AKA
away.
me, Jake, and Cooper.
So this is this is the thing. I love goal setting, but I do a very bad job at like being diligent in that. I have to completely create a new habit. And it's easy for me to set like physical fitness goals because that is my job. Like that's what I do. I'm in the gym. It either happens or it doesn't happen because but I'm like in it. I'm at the gym all day. So I do have like obviously like professional goals have locked in. Reading 10 minutes a day, have not been doing that because I haven't set a specific time and it has to be in the morning to read because it's not going to happen during the day because just about during the day I eat lunch and I just want to eat lunch in silence and I don't want to like stare at a book right now. And when I get home, I don't get home until like 8 o'clock at night, sometimes 8:30. And the last thing I want to do, I just want to like eat and go to bed.
Yeah.
So, do I set goals? Yes. Have I been super successful at setting all of them like completely and respecting all of them? No, but we are trying again. And tomorrow's a new day, and today is also a new day. I don't set too many clearly because we can't read for 10 minutes apparently, but we're on our way. I have started that book. I just have not been close to finishing.
It's a really good book. I recommend, honestly, the audiobook.
I'm in the
And for the
car like 2 hours a day.
yeah,
You
so for the audience, we're talking about the Lab Management Book Club, and
know.
we are reading, or a few of us have read, Talking with Strangers by Malcolm Gladwell.
Hmm.
And it's an incredibly insightful book. But Fee, the reason why I recommend the audiobook is because Malcolm Gladwell reads it himself. And when he's talking about certain interviews, like he plays recordings of like the FBI in an interview and Sandra Bland from the beginning, like you get to hear her YouTube videos.
Oh.
So it's way more interactive over the audiobook. Um, I'm a book reader, like I like to read physical books more, but
Mhm.
this particular audiobook was really like I would recommend that one versus the physical book.
Oh, I
So
like that.
don't
I'll
let
have
Cooper
to
or Jake judge you for doing the audiobook.
I know where to spend my money now. Audiobook
Um,
is the way to go.
there
No,
you
but
go.
it's a good point. It's actually a really good point. I like that you brought goal setting because I think it's something that a lot of people struggle with, like athlete, non-athlete, just human beings, I think in general. But I think everyone craves like having direction and having a routine and having something to shoot for. And I think that's such a struggle. And I think ultimately it comes down to making the time to implementing it into your day as a routine and I think when a lot of people set physical goals, it's like I want to become stronger. What does that mean? I want to eat healthier. What does that mean? Right? I want to get a pull up. What does that even mean? So I think when it comes to goal setting, it is important to recognize, okay, what do you want? Like, what do you want to achieve specifically? And but how are you going to do it? And the reason that I've been unsuccessful is because I haven't actually taken the time to implement it. And like, no matter what happens from 6:30 to 6:40, I will be reading. Like, I just haven't like put it into
Yeah.
practice. And I think most people struggle with that because like the idea is there, but they struggle because they've never actually put it in. I want 5 strict pull-ups by April 1st. So I will work on whatever. I will do 5 by 5 pull-ups Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I don't know, just sorry. So then it actually gives you, but you're gonna have to do it because at
Yeah.
the end by April 1st. So it's something that we talk actually a lot about at our gym and our members. And gym members are always so great when it comes to, they're always so consistent when it comes to like coming into CrossFit class. But a lot of gym members, they want to become better in specific areas, whether it's gaining a new skill, building to a PR, and they don't know how to get there. So it's really cool to also not just be a CrossFit coach there, but also build these really special relationships where I get to guide people in ways that it's like, okay, what are your goals? Like what is one goal? Why do you want it and how can I help you to get there? And that's where I'm able to really build those relationships one-on-one, take on clients one-on-one when I can, and I've been able to see some really, really incredible things when you just invest in people. And I think that's just the most important part of anything, not just sport, not just what we're talking about, which is, CrossFit, but just in general, when you start to build relationships with people, you start to pour into people, you start to trust in the people that mentor you, have people that challenge you around you, whether they challenge you, whether it's your community, whether it's your training partners, whether it's the people that you work alongside you, and then have people that, you get to pull along. And for me, it's, the teenager who went to the games, Molly Chacon, I get to mentor her and pull her along in her journey as well as my journey. It's the members that I get to, work with on a personal level. I get to pull them along, but I'm also mentored by people that know more than me, and that's Scott and mainly Scott and Kristen, and having that community. And it's been something really, really special. And it kind of brings me back to me feeling like that is what fills my cup. And I'm more than just a CrossFit athlete now. I have a little bit more purpose than just sport. And it's cool to be able to give back and be part of other people's journeys.
Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome. Thank you for sharing that.
Mhm.
We like to wrap up the show with a couple longer winded questions and then some rapid fire or lightning round questions. So I'm going to go into
Oh,
that. If you think these are random, they for sure are random, but,
random. Okay. I like it.
if you could put anything on a big blank billboard overlooking the busiest intersection, what would the billboard say?
Ooh. Mm, that's a good question. 2 words. I got 2 words for you because it's the first thing that comes to mind. Oh, maybe it's 4. I changed my mind. It's 4. Be kind, love more. I think
Love it.
people need more of that. Be kind, love more. And I think people need more of that because we live in such a busy, frustrating world. As always, life will never be easy and it will never be sunshine and rainbows, loving life all the time. But I think people, especially now, have fallen into this, habit of just reacting super fast to very, uh, unfortunate events or things out of their control. And, out of anger, they treat other people badly and poorly. And it's just, you got to remember that everyone's trying their best. Like everyone's just trying to get by, and everyone does mean well. And everyone's dealing with hard things in their life too. So we just be kind and be able to like breathe and take a step back and just teach, be the person that, is just say, you know what, are you okay? Like,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. And like, if you mess up, own it and just be like, you know what, I didn't mean that. I'm sorry. Like, and just be kind and love more. And when you love more, so much love comes back to you in so many ways. So that's my
That's great.
billboard. Peace and love.
Beach or mountains?
Beach all day.
For sure. Texting or talking on the phone?
Talk, talking,
Okay.
talking,
I dig
talking.
that.
I love conversation.
If you could talk
Clearly.
to, yeah. Thanks
Sorry.
again for being on. If you could talk to all animals or speak every human language, which one
Mm.
would you do?
Talk to all animals. I love animals. I want to know what Callie is thinking at all times. I want to know Jared's princess. Also, for those listening, her name's not Callie. Her name is Princess Callie. She's knocked out. Oh my gosh, Callie. She's dreaming.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she's
I'm
chilling.
sorry. I'm good with 2 languages. I want to talk to animals all the time.
What's your favorite number and why?
Well, I guess because so the reason I'm thinking about it so much, I had a volleyball number 10. And the reason I chose 10 is because it's my mom's birthday. And my mom's birthday, my mom and I have the same month birthday. And I chose it just because I'm a mama's girl. And so number 10 just reminds me of my mom. And she's a 10 out of 10. So I like the number 10.
Love it. How much of success, whether it's you or like CrossFit Games athletes in general, how much of the success in CrossFit Games sport do you think is hard work? And how much do you think is genetics? If you were to give it like 50-50 or 70-30, what do you think it would be?
Gosh. I think honestly, I think like 99.9% of it is hard work. Cause honestly, like I don't consider myself as a talented athlete. Like I did not come into CrossFit with like talent. Like I came into it with a willingness to learn. I came into it with an open mind. I came into it with wanting to be coached, so being coachable, and wanting to like just put in the work. And genetically, like, yeah, I guess like genetically, like I have a tendency to maybe gain a little bit more muscle, that gain a little bit more weight. It's easier for me to put on some weight. I'm a little bit, maybe so it's like genetically, like it has nothing to do with genetics for me, it has everything to do with just effort and hard work. And there's a lot of sports out there that there's some great talent, amazing talent, but there's going to come a time where talent won't get you where you want to go. And the great thing about CrossFit is you can't be talented and not work hard.
Yeah.
Like you can have talent in the respect of like maybe learning new movements a little bit easier than others. For someone, maybe it takes, just a couple months to like feel comfortable under the bar, and probably takes someone like a full year to actually like, you know, find some confidence under a barbell for snatch. Like, talent to learn new things a little bit more efficiently, but you can't hide. And that's why I love CrossFit, because you can be talented, but if you don't work just as hard, like if not harder, you're going to forget, you're never going to make it. And no, and this is not like, USA Olympic gymnastics where it's like you need to be doing gymnastics from the time you're 4 until the time you're like,
Yeah.
15, 16. And if you didn't start at 4, you lost all these years of like learning. No, and hard work, 99.9.
Love it. Hey, Fee, thanks for being on the show today.
Thank you, Jared.
It's always fun chatting with you. Do you have any last comments, any last words for the audience?
Good luck in the open.
Good luck in the open.
I'm excited. I hope everyone listening is just excited for the year, excited for the CrossFit season, those of you who are following along. And let's freaking go. I've been waiting for this. This is 2022, and a new fee is coming into the season, I hope.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Fee. I'm sure I will see you sooner than later. And
Yes.
to everyone else, have an awesome day.
Thank you, guys.